Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. So today's video I'm going to be talking to you about my Summerween Tbr. These are all the books I hope to get to. If you don't know what Summerween is, it is a readathon that happens in summer for a week. So this year is going from July 5th to July 11th and we are given prompts. These are the prompts and we basically bring Halloween into the summer. So Summerween was created by the amazing Gabby. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I will leave all the information about Summerween in the description, so if you would like to join, then check it all out below. But I thought I would talk to you about one of my hopefuls. There's 3 books that I mainly want to get to because I'm hoping to just be reading 3 books, fit all 5 prompts, but there are 2 others that I would also like to get to. So let's just get right on into the video. So the first book I would like to get to is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This book can actually fit all 5 prompts, but I am thinking of just using it for the night sky prompt. So this book, I'm going to read the synopsis about. So it says, Casey Fletcher, a recently widowed actress trying to escape a streak of bad press, has retreated to the peace and quiet of her family's lake house in Vermont. Armed with a pair of binoculars and several bottles of liquor, she passes the time watching Tom and Catherine Royce, the glamorous couple who lived in the house across the lake. They make for good viewing. A tech player, Tom is rich and a former model, Catherine is gorgeous. One day on the lake, Casey saves Catherine from drowning, and the two strikes a buddying friendship. The more they get to know each other, the longer Casey watches. It becomes clear that Catherine and Tom's marriage is not as perfect and placid as it appears. When Catherine suddenly vanishes, Casey becomes consumed with finding out what happened to her. In the process, she uncovers eerie, darker truths that turn a tale of voyeurism and suspicion into a story of guilt, obsession, and how looks can be very deceiving. This one sounds so intriguing. This one has actually been on my TBR for a while and I just never have got to it. I have been wanting to read more Riley Sager books as well. I think the only one I have read is Final Girls years ago, so I have been wanting to give a few more a go, and this is one that has been talked about a lot and I've heard some amazing things about it, so this is one that I'm hoping to get to during Summerween. Next one is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. This is the one I'm hoping to do for the prompt for 5 words in the title, and this is also one that has been on my TBR for a while. Lisa Jewell is a hit or miss for me, so I'm either going to love it or it's going to be okay type thing. But I am really excited for this one because I've heard amazing things about it, and it was the nominee for the best mystery and thriller in 2023, so I do have really high hopes for this book. So the synopsis says, celebrating her 45th birthday at her local pub, popular podcaster Alex Summers crosses paths with an unassuming woman called Josie Fair. Josie, it turns out, is also celebrating her 45th birthday. They are in fact birthday twins. A few days later, Alex and Josie bump into each other again, the time outside Alex's children's school. Josie has been listening to Alex's podcast and thinks she might be an interesting subject for her series. She is, she tells Alex, on the cusp of great changes in her life. Josie's life appears to be strange and complicated, and although Alex finds her unsettling, she can't quite resist the temptation to keep making the podcast. Slowly she starts to realize that Josie has been hiding from very dark secrets. Behind she knows it, Josie has indulged her way into Alex's life and into her home. But as quickly as she arrives, Josie disappears. Only then does Alex discover that Josie has left a terrible and terrifying legacy in her wake, and that Alex has become the subject of her own true crime podcast, with her life and her family's lives under mortal threat. Who is Josie Fair and what has she done? This book sounds so interesting. That is why I'm so excited for it. It just sounds like a fun book, and it's only 380 pages, and I feel like it's going to be one of those books that it's just going to fly by. So I'm very excited to get to this one as well. Then the next book I would like to get to is The Last Murder at the End of the World, and this book I have heard quite a few things about recently. That's why I'm thinking it'll be best for set in summer prompt, and I don't know actually what this one's about, so when I read the synopsis to you, it's going to be the first time and actually me learning what it's about. It's just I've heard great things about it recently and a lot about it recently, so I feel like this might be a good option. Solve the murder to save what's left of the world. Outside the island there is nothing. The world was destroyed by a fog that swept the planet, killing anyone it touched. On the island, it is idyllic. 122 villagers and 3 scientists living in peaceful harmony. The villagers are content to fish, farm and feast, to obey their nightly curfew, to do what they're told by the scientists. Until the horror of the islanders, one of their beloved scientists is found brutally stabbed to death, and then they learn that the murder has triggered a lowering of the security system around the island, the only thing that was keeping the fog at bay. If the murder isn't solved within 107 hours, the fog will smother the the island and everyone on it. But the security system has also wiped everyone's memories of exactly what happened the night before, which means that someone on the island is a murderer. They don't even know it. The clock is ticking. So I'm so excited for this because it's also kind of like a newish release. It says it was released March 28th of this year. I'm excited for this because yes, it's a mystery thriller, but it's also got a bit of science fiction and dystopia. Now, science fiction, I always say I don't like science fiction. I haven't read much science fiction because I always say I don't like science fiction, but that's just because I like some, most I don't. I've never had good experiences with science fiction in the past. I've always disliked the stories and stuff. So this one sounds really interesting. This one sounds like it can really grab my attention. So I have high hopes for this one and I'm really excited to get on into it. Now, the extra ones that I would like to get to, these are just extra books, maybe for the thriller horror prompt, you know, just extra if I want to. So we have Watching You by Lisa Jewell. So this is yet another Lisa Jewell book. I've been wanting to read this one for a while. So this one says, Elvine Heights is one of the nicest neighbourhoods in Bristol, England, home to doctor and lawyers and old money academics. It's not the sort of place where people are brutally murdered in their own kitchen, but it's the sort of place where everyone has a secret and everyone is watching you. As the headmaster credited with turning around the local school, Tom Fitzwilliam is beloved by one and all, including Joey Mullen, his new neighbour, who quickly develops an intense infatuation with the thoroughly charming yet unavailable man. Joey thinks her crush is a secret, but Tom's teenage son Freddie, with aspirations of becoming a spy for I5, excels in observing people and has witnessed Joey behaving strangely around his father. One of Tom's students, Jenna Tripp, also lives in the same street, and she is not convinced her teacher is as squeaky clean as he seems. For one thing, he has taken a particular liking to her best friend and fellow classmate, and Jenna's mother, whose mental health has admittedly been deteriorating in recent years, is convinced that Mr. Fitzwilliam is stalking her. Meanwhile, 20 years later, a schoolgirl writes in her diary, charting her doomed obsession with a handsome younger English teacher named Mr. Fitzwilliam. This one sounds so interesting and I can't wait to get into this one. This one, like I said, is also one I've been wanting to read for a while, and so it'd be great to get off for Summerween. And then lastly, we have another Lisa Jewell book, and that is Then She Was Gone. This is also another one I've been wanting to read for a while. When I say a while, I mean too long. And this is also another one of Lisa Jewell's books that is talked about a lot, so I have high hopes for this one. The synopsis says it there. She was 15, her mother's golden girl. She has a whole life ahead of her, and then in the blink of an eye, Ellie was gone. Now, it's been 10 years since Ellie disappeared, but Laurel has never given up hope of finding her daughter. And then one day, a charming and characteristic stranger called Floyd walks into a cafe and sweeps Laurel off her feet. Before too long, she's staying the night at this house and being introduced to his 9-year-old daughter. Poppy is precious and pretty, and meeting her completely takes Laurel's breath away, because Poppy is the spitting image of Ellie when she was that age, and now all those unanswered questions that have haunted Laurel comes flooding back. What happened to Ellie? Where did she go? She also has secrets to hide. Doesn't this sound amazing? And like I said, I've heard amazing things about it. It has a 4.5 average and it has 719,675 ratings. I have high hopes, I must say. So I'm very excited to get on into this one as well, and I'm hoping to be able to read it for Summerween. Those are all the books on my Summerween TBR. I am so excited to be doing this. This is my first year actually doing Summerween, so I'm very excited to be participating in it. Like I said, if you would like to also participate, then there'll be all the information in the description for you to check out. So that is the end of today's video. Please like and subscribe if you would like to see more bookish content from me, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!